We begin tonight with a closer look at the support systems helping AUM students manage the pressures of college life. In our Elite story, we explore how Warhawk Student Resource Center and the Counseling Center work together to support students with both academic needs and emotional well-being. This piece shows how the departments help students stay balanced throughout the semester.
Across campus, students are facing a wide range of stressors as the semester moves forward. That's why two AUM departments are focusing on providing support from mental health services to academic support. I spoke with two offices, AUM Counseling and the Warhawk Student Center, to learn how they are navigating students through the semester, and they are both housed here at the Taylor Center. College life can be overwhelming for AUM students juggling classes, work, and personal responsibilities. The Warhawk Resource Center and the Counseling Center are stepping in to help. The Resource Center offers tutoring, supplies, and support to make academic challenges easier.
The Warhawk Resource Center, and they ask various questions and we connect with them. Students have a sense of just feeling that someone cares about them, and when they have that sense of comfort to know that someone cares about them, we can provide the Resource Center as a kind of gateway to help them understand that it's okay to connect with health promotion services.
The Warhawk Resource Center also provides loaner laptops and connects students to other student affairs services, including the Counseling Center. Their mission is to make sure students feel supported across campus with essential academic and wellness resources. The Counseling Center focuses on emotional and mental well-being, offering counseling and coping strategies to help students manage stress. Counselor Nicole Block says many students are facing heavy pressures, and the center is here to help them stay balanced.
The biggest stressors I see that students are facing right now is homesickness, the excitement about going home for the holidays, but also all of the finals that are coming up, all the assignments that are due. They're getting all of the messages off of Canvas saying, like, make sure to have everything in by a certain date, which is starting to really affect them negatively. We just want you to feel comfortable to talk with people or talk with us ways that you probably couldn't with your friends and stuff like that, because that's what we're here for.
Block also emphasizes that they are here to help students through any life situation. From academic assistance to emotional support, these campus resources are here to help students stay balanced and succeed. Reporting from AUM, I'm Kanaya Potts.
Food insecurity is rising across Alabama, with nearly 1 in 5 residents struggling to afford meals as SNAP pauses and inflation drive up need. The Heart of Alabama Food Bank says demand is surging, and many families, seniors, and veterans are turning to food pantries for the first time. Alabama Arise is also pushing to expand free school meals, with most eligible schools already participating. Advocates say donation and volunteer support remain essential. AUMLive reporter Nicholas Drayton has more.
Food insecurities remain a pressing issue across Alabama, affecting nearly a fifth of the population. With federal programs like SNAP temporarily halted, families, seniors, and children are facing growing challenges just to put meals on the table. Organizations like the Heart of Alabama Food Bank and Alabama Rise see firsthand the needs of Alabamians. The Heart of Alabama Food Bank in Montgomery, volunteers and staff are working tirelessly to meet the demand, with nearly 800,000 across the state not receiving SNAP benefits. Add that to rising food costs, and the needs continue to grow, creating challenges for local food banks and nonprofits working to fill the gaps. Donations and volunteers stretch limited resources, providing nutritious meals to families who need them most. Verena Mead, Chief Development Officer at the Heart of Alabama Food Bank, highlights the challenges posed by inflation, rising food costs, and growing demand.
There's a story of a senior that makes me think of that we heard from not too long ago, whose medication rose so substantially, about $700 over the course of a month. His medication increased. And so he, for the first time in his 80s, being a veteran, was standing in line at a food pantry to receive some assistance because he was faced faced with the difficult decision of life-saving medication or life-sustaining food. To be honest with you, it's money. So with us, with the Heart of Alabama Food Bank, each dollar we're able to get 5 full meals out of that. And that's because of our food banking network, the way that we purchase food, source food, get food donated in, both from stores and big box stores, smaller grocery stores. Because of the way we swap and work with other food banks, we're able to really stretch that dollar more than anybody can.
With nearly 15% of Alabamians relying on SNAP, food banks continue to serve a critical role. Many recipients are working families, seniors, and children who rely on these programs. Alabama Rise has prioritized expanding free school meals for children. Programs like the Community Eligibility Program allow schools to provide breakfast and lunch at no cost, helping students focus, learn, and thrive. Carol Gunlock, a senior policy analyst at Alabama Rise, said there is an overwhelming majority of schools participating in the program.
Has done a great job in this area. We have about 80% of eligible schools are offering free breakfast and lunch to children. We're trying to increase this number.
From federal advocacy to local volunteer efforts, the fight against hunger in Alabama is ongoing. Whether it's donating, volunteering, or contacting lawmakers, every action helps ensure no one goes without a meal. For AUMLive, I'm Nicholas Drayton.
In this story, Maya Law explores how the program has impacted both students and faculty. Through interviews and personal stories, her piece highlights how connected the department is and how much students receive support from professors and their peers. It captures what makes the department feel like a strong community.
For 40 years, our University of Montgomery's communication department has shaped storytellers, leaders, and creative thinkers. From journalism to public relations and digital media, this department continues to leave a long-lasting impact on students and faculty. As it celebrates its 40th anniversary, we take a closer look at what makes AUM's communication department so special and how it continues to inspire the next generation of communicators.
Sure. I started here in the fall of 2016, and what I've tried to do here since then, that would be my 10th year, is to help students. Of course, primarily our charge is to help you all learn, the subject matter. And for us, that's, communication, journalism, public relations, communication studies, as well as theater.
So I teach media writing too, and that involves journalism writing. It involves public relations like press releases and things like that. But so your first question about this department, I'm on my 7th year here as a full-time faculty. And what I like about this department, we're smaller than most, compared to Alabama or Auburn per se. We're a smaller department, but that gives us more opportunity to teach a variety of classes, which I absolutely love. So
this department has really helped me overcome small parts of my anxiety, or really putting myself out there for my own craft, because I feel like that's been my main trip to really push myself into the internet and even into filming. And I want to become a screenwriter and director.
Really enjoyable for me to watch how my students just grow up and they're ready to graduate and then find their job and their path in the communication area, but with the knowledge from the school. So
helping students progress through their degrees and hopefully graduate within the time frame that they want to meet their goals there. Also, do a lot of support work in terms of, scheduling classes. That's, part of my responsibility. So we're getting ready to do the fall 2026 and summer 2026 schedules.
In another story, Alexis Taylor introduces us to Morty, a husky who has become the longest resident at the Montgomery Humane Society. Her report shows his journey, his personality, and the hope that bringing attention to him will help him finally find a home.
At the Montgomery Humane Society, hundreds of animals come and go through these doors, but that's not the case for everybody. I'm here highlighting one resident in particular who's been here the longest. At the Montgomery Humane Society, Morty, a 2-year-old husky, has remained one of the shelter's long-term residents since February. Morty is a very sweet and affectionate dog. He loves to run around and play outside. He loves to sniff everything. The type of dog that loves to sniff roses 2 times. Morty is one of those faces that you get excited to see, but also sad to see as an adoption counselor where it's your job to get an animal out. But he is a wonderful dog. Staff described Morty as an energetic, playful dog with the most charismatic personality you'll find.
A lot of people don't really take into consideration of what it takes to have a husky. Their activity level, some of their not liking certain animals.
Most people that live in this area want huskies for how they look, not for how they act. So it kind of makes it difficult to find particular people, especially in this region of the U.S., to house a husky.
Staff say there are several factors that can influence how long an animal remains in the facility. Morty follows a daily routine that includes exercise, enrichment, and standard care. He's available for adoption at the Montgomery Humane Society. Morty is just one of many who are still waiting for their forever home. With AUMLive, I'm Alexis Taylor.
Student voices matter at AUM, and the Department of Student Involvement and Leadership wants to hear them. A new survey has been sent out to students asking for preferences on campus events, snacks, food options, and even this year's homecoming theme. Here's Tariana Kazi with more information.
Have an opinion about the events and options on campus? The Department of Student Involvement and Leadership distributed a survey to measure student preferences. I'm here by the Taylor Center, which serves as the heart of AUM and where student involvement and leadership is located. To measure student preferences, the AUM Department of Student Involvement distributed a student involvement survey on November 11th through November 21st. The purpose of the survey is to gauge student preferences for events on campus for next semester. The survey asks questions from favorite sodas and drinks to next year's AUM homecoming theme. This survey will be used by student involvement and leadership to distribute to leadership organizations such as SGA, CAB, Office of Student Affairs, and more. I had the opportunity to speak to DeMonte Wiggins and Jacina Winstel about the survey.
It's very important because it helps us with taking care of our students and giving the students the things that they want. You know, we ask about snacks, we ask about events, we ask about time of events, locations. So we want to do all we can to meet our students where they can come out and have the best time.
We are here for the students at AUM, so we need to always know what their needs are and how we can better make AUM a better experience for the university as a whole and for them, and what their needs are and how we can help that out.
I was able to get a student's point of view. Here is Jesse Cole Autry expressing his thoughts about the survey.
I feel like it's good to get all the students' opinions. It's very important so that representation is maintained in campus through these surveys, so that voices and opinions can be heard.
So don't miss your chance. Take the survey and share your voice, and help shape the future of campus life at AUM. I'm AUMLive reporter Tariana Kazi signing out.
Finding a new parking spot at AUM isn't the hardest part. It's where students choose to park that's causing the problems. From loading zones to front row faculty spaces, campus police says too many drivers are ignoring the rules. AUMLive reporter Shanice McGee sat down with Chief Brenda Mitchell to explain to students what they need to know.
At Army University at Montgomery, the issue isn't parking availability, it's parking awareness. Campus police say many violations happen because drivers aren't paying attention to the color-coded lines and posted signs that mark each zone.
The orange spaces are reserved spaces for faculty and staff. They actually pay $75 to park in those locations. And the white spaces are for general as well as guest parking and student parking.
Campus officials say parking rules aren't about punishment. They're about keeping pathways open and campus operations running safely.
No one wants to write tickets, but we have to do our jobs. And so just keep in mind that we are functioning to make sure everyone is safe. And we are a collective team. Our students, our staff, and our faculty, we're all here to work together. We're not here just to write citations or tickets. A lot of the time, warnings are written. And so when dealing with the same parkers over and over again, not getting a message from a warning, then, citations have to be written to see if that can correct the behavior.
And for students who actually rely on these zones, misuse by other drivers creates real problems.
It's unfair when someone's genuinely just trying to unload their groceries or something like that, and they can't do it because you decide to park here because you're just visiting a friend or something like that, and you're staying well over 30 minutes.
That's why loading and unloading zones, like the one right outside Warhawk Hall, have strict time limits.
This area in front of Warhawk Hall is a loading and unloading zone, and it's only to be used for a designated time of 30 minutes. But when people overstay their time, this is causing many people to have traffic jams, and also when emergency vehicles have to come here, they're not able to get to the lane because the lane is blocked. And so this is why the time zones are strict.
Officials say they'll continue enforcing parking rules to keep students safe and traffic moving. For AUM students, the message is simple. Check the lines, check the signs, and follow the zones. For AUMLive, I'm Shanice McGee.
Jordan White brings us coverage from AUM's Housing's Thanksgiving Around the World event held on November 4th. Students enjoy dishes from different cultures and learn about how holiday traditions celebrated across the globe. The event brought students together to experience diversity through food and community.
Hi, I'm Jordan White reporting live from Thanksgiving Around the World, an annual housing event where students get to partake in cultural food. Every year at Auburn University at Montgomery, Housing brings family tradition and familiar food to campus with their event Thanksgiving Around the World. The event celebrates culture, community, and the many different ways gratitude is expressed across the globe. Students have the chance to taste different dishes from a variety of countries, connect with peers, and see cultural performances from students. Now, to give us more insight into the planning, purpose, and the impact of this annual tradition, I had the chance to talk with Housing ROC, Emily Jones.
So one of my favorite parts about this event is the cultural showcase, and so that is when we welcome residents to come and perform and just showcase their art with us. And it's always a good crowd interaction of just seeing their peers cheer them on, interact with them. Then I think also we have food here from all around the world, and so just being able to try some of our residents' favorites from back home is also a great way. And I just think this event really breeds connection overall and family.
To get a student's perspective, I spoke with Kate Lindsay Hunter to hear how the event may have changed the way she thinks about Thanksgiving traditions.
It made me realize that other cultures are celebrating, well, I guess I already knew that other cultures were celebrating Thanksgiving in America, but it made me realize that they do celebrate very differently from everyone else. And it made me realize that we can also indulge in those different cultures if we wanted to.
And this is Jordan White from AUMLive signing off. Happy Thanksgiving, Warhawks.
We also take a look at high school football across the state. Nicholas Cottrell breaks down a full slate of playoff matchups.
The third round of the Alabama High School Athletic Association playoffs is coming up, and there are league games all across the state. Starting off in 1A, Maplesville enters a third round of playoffs with an undefeated record in a matchup against a 9-3 Southern Choctaw in a game of ground attack versus physical defense. Expect this one to be a classic. Moving on to 2A, we see an undefeated Luverne taking on Lynette. Luverne's balanced offense has been rolling, but Lynette's speed and spread game can flip momentum fast. This matchup may come down to which quarterback stays clean in the pockets. Staying in 2A, this next matchup is a battle between Reeltown and Providence Christian. With both schools being 9-3, Reeltown's rushing attack has been dominant throughout the season, but Providence Christian's disciplined defense is known for limiting big plays. Whoever controls the line of scrimmage likely controls the game. Going into a 3A showdown, an undefeated Southside Selma takes on 10-2 Glenwood. Southside has been the story all year after a record-breaking season, while Glenwood brings an organized offense. A contrast in styles that could make this one tight down to the stretch. Class 4A sees Bullitt County take on an undefeated St. Michael Catholic. The 9-3 Hornets' speed on the edges will be key, but St. Michael's execution and passing game could tilt things in their favor. In 6A, Pike Road meets Saraland. Pike Road's offense is efficient and disciplined, but Saraland, coming off an undefeated season and being the runner-up the past 2 years, has star power all over the field. If the 9-3 Rebels can slow the tempo, they'll stay in it. And finally, a rivalry returns. Auburn hosts Opelika. Records don't matter when these two meet. Auburn brings a balanced, disciplined style, while Opelika's physicality and big play potential always keeps them dangerous.
And in other sports, Cam Harris takes a look at the 3 local teams who are championship hopefuls.
And now we're going to head over to high school football, where several Montgomery teams are looking to make history and add on to their already boisterous legacy. Montgomery Catholic will host an 11-0 Williamson team that is favored to represent the South in 5A after dominant wins over Citronelle and Shelby County in the first 2 rounds of the playoffs. This will be Catholic's 6th straight year playing in the quarterfinals as they look to win their 3rd straight state championship in a row. The Knights are highlighted by a potent offense led by quarterback C.J. Sankey and athlete Michael Sheffield, and a stifling defense led by Caden Dees. But they will definitely have their work cut out for them on Friday when they take on the Lions, 7 p.m. at Montgomery Catholic. Now we take you to another Vaughn Road team. The Montgomery Academy Eagles will travel to Mobile for a tough matchup against the 11-1 Bayside Admirals. MA is reaching the quarterfinals for the first time since 2021. The Eagles are led by their young budding QB, Reed McBride, and a stingy defense, averaging 9.5 points allowed this season. MA is looking to get back to the semifinals after last year's disappointing second-round exit, but it won't be easy with the Eagles traveling to Freedom Field Friday to take on the Admirals at 7 p.m.
And finally, Rod Lewis reports Hurricane Melissa, a storm that has caused severe destruction across the Caribbean, Cuba, parts of the United States. His story highlights the widespread damage, the rising number of casualties, and the ongoing recovery efforts.
While this year has been filled with abnormal weather, Hurricane Melissa has by far been considered the most dangerous, becoming notorious for being the strongest hurricane since 1935.
Countries like the Dominican Republic, Haiti, Cuba, and Jamaica are in a state of recovery after the massive Hurricane Melissa left millions of dollars worth of damages. The Category 5 storm reached a record-breaking peak wind speed of 252 miles per hour in just a 24-hour period, becoming the 3rd most intense Atlantic hurricane on record. There have been over 90 reported fatalities across Jamaica, the Dominican Republic, Haiti, and even the U.S.
We've seen it time after time. We've seen it here in the United States. Think about Hurricane Helene was much worse in North Carolina than it was at the immediate coast. And that's because, again, hurricanes and mountains are a horrible combination.
Residents of the countries are hoping for a steady recovery, as most await repair on the country's schools and hospitals. Stay tuned for more updates. This is Rod Lewis reporting for AUMLive.
Those are your stories. Stay with us for more news coming up. I'm Kanaya Potts.
And I'm Maya Law.
And this has been AUM Live.